Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shaelene and today I am going to begin a new series on my channel. I want to begin a series where I talk about my 3 most recent nonfiction books that I have read. I am a massive lover of nonfiction. I've always have. I just love learning about things, and I really want to do this series because I feel like not a lot of people are into nonfiction or read nonfiction. I feel like predominantly what I see people reading on YouTube is YA, fantasy, and mystery, and romance. So I hope that with this series, maybe more people will be more open to reading nonfiction books. I'm going to talk about my 3 most recent nonfiction books that I've read. I already have reviews on these in my wrap-ups, but I just wanted to, kind of kick the series off and start it. We're just gonna jump right into it. One of my most recent nonfiction reads happened in the beginning of June. I read Sick by Porochista Khakpour. I'm probably still saying that name wrong, but this is a memoir about a woman who throughout most of her life, she has this here mysterious illness and she can't figure out what it is. Doctors can't figure out what it is. She struggles with drug addiction and so many health problems until she eventually finds out that she likely has chronic late-stage Lyme disease. Now, I read this because I also happen to have chronic late-stage Lyme disease, so this ended up being a difficult personal read for me because of the shared similarities with our illnesses. It was a very emotional read, but one I think that is very eye-opening for a lot of people if you're not really familiar with the rampant medical sexism that happens in Western medicine and just medicine period. I feel like this book does a really great job at kind of showing the reader how often this happens, how often women are disbelieved for having these mysterious illnesses and symptoms. So it's quite a saga to read through. It's actually a pretty short book. The writing style of this is very easy to follow. We just basically have a recounting of her life from when she was a young child through her teen years, through her college years, and through her 20s and 30s. So it's very detailed in her personal life and her medical history. You really get to know the author and all the struggles she faced fighting most of her life to get a diagnosis on what has been making her sick most of her life. So I feel like this is a great read for anybody who wants to learn more about the struggles of what it is to be chronically ill, and especially as a woman of color, as the author is, and what that experience is like. Definitely recommend this book if you are someone who has a chronic illness or disability, because this gives you a, aha, I'm not alone kind of moment, which is what I felt when I read this. Even still talking about this, I read this so long, quite a while ago, but I still get emotional thinking about my feelings while reading this book. I did cry a few times because it's just so personal. Some things really hit me hard. Yeah, I really recommend it just in general. If you've read Brain on Fire by Susanna Callahan, then this is quite similar. So if you've read that, you'll likely enjoy this as well. So I ended up giving this a 4 stars. It's always weird to rate a memoir from someone and their life, but I typically rate memoirs on what I got from it and how I felt while reading it. And for me, it's a 4-star because obviously I cried, and I'm another Limey supporting another Limey. So the next nonfiction book that I read was When Women Ruled the World by Cooney. So Cooney is an Egyptologist based at, I think, UCLA. So in Cooney's novel, we learn about 6 queens of Egypt, 3 more well-known and 3 more lesser-known queens. We follow the 3 known queens, Hatshepsut, Nefertiti, and Cleopatra, which obviously a lot of you have probably heard of Cleopatra and Nefertiti. I think those are the 2 most popular female queens in ancient Egyptian history, but Hatshepsut is a little bit less known, but quite well known if you read a lot of Egyptology. And then you have the 3 lesser known queens. You have Marineth, Neferusobek, and Taroset. So these are 3 queens that we really don't hear much of, so it was really great to get a history on them in this book. So if you do want to learn more about those 3 lesser known queens, I feel like this is a good starting point, because this book does offer you quite a comprehensive bibliography that the author used to write this book. So during each respective queen's chapter, we learn about what we know about their life, who they married, how they came to power, and what the political climate at the time was like for these queens, and how they stayed in power or how they lost power. A lot of the circumstances and parallels that are drawn from these queens of ancient times do collide with beliefs we hold today for female rulership and leadership, and it's kind of eye-opening to know that things really haven't changed in 4,000 years for women. In Egypt, women had much more considerable freedom compared to the rest of the world at that period in time. However, there was still a lot of sexism, of course there is, and the author does a really great job at demonstrating that the biases held back then towards women are still strikingly similar to the biases we hold today. And I mean, it's been 4,000 freaking years and we still have those in 2019. It's kind of ridiculous, it's infuriating, but it's eye-opening. So I felt this book was really well thought out. It was quite thought-provoking, and it was very informative on the 3 lesser-known queens. I already knew quite a bit about the 3 more well-known queens, so I really enjoyed the perspective of the lesser-known queens. I gave this a 3.5 star. I feel like if you want a starting point for Egyptian queens, then this is the book for you. But if you're already quite well versed in a lot of the queens, then this isn't really going to give you much unless you're not well versed in the 3 lesser known queens. It was really good. I really enjoyed my time reading it. There wasn't really too many parts that were boring. Considering it's a nonfiction, I still found it very intriguing and very interesting. So the 3rd nonfiction book that I've read recently, it's actually kind of a shorter one, and this is Hypatia, Her Life and Times by Faith L. Justice. So this is a collection of blog posts written by the author on Hypatia, the lady philosopher of Alexandria, from Hellenistic times. I feel like this little collection is a wonderful starting point to learning about Hypatia, because the author provides quite a lot of bibliography so you can read further about Hypatia. And one of the things about Hypatia is that we actually don't know too much about her, because not much from her time period has actually survived, and a lot of the accounts we have from her is through the Roman eye, and obviously we know that the Romans skewed a lot of things. They were like the ultimate propaganda machine. A lot of the myths about Hypatia's life are actually kind of debunked in this here little short collection. We get to learn about this extraordinary woman and what she did for her time, and she's just amazing for her time, considering that in Hellenistic times women were basically cattle, and they were the lesser, they were on the same level as slaves. So yeah, women didn't have any rights at all, so it's really quite extraordinary that she became such a high profile and respected lady of her time. So yeah, this is a wonderful introduction, and I really enjoy reading this, and I really enjoyed the further bibliography that the author provides so that you can go ahead and learn more about this wonderful lady. So I gave this 4 stars. And there you have it, guys. Those are the most recent nonfiction books that I've read in the past few months. I hope to obviously do more videos like this because I really love reading nonfiction, and it's one of my favorite things to read. So yeah, if you like this video, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe. I will leave my Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter linked in the description below, so you can go ahead and follow me there. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!